applications through ServiceNow. And I think the concept, just for someone is new to this, this application, the common service and is standard shared service. We do have definition across our product and platform that will support us from service level reporting purpose. And data model and ServiceNow, recommend data model is crowd ServiceNow products platform that enables support multiple configuration strategies. This is pretty high level, but we always look at from this blueprint diagram to understand is data entries moved to a ServiceNow platform. If you look at the diagram, this is the 4.0 data model powered by ServiceNow. The 5.0 version is coming in next few months. If you look at this diagram, you can see is in the data modeling basically defined by multiple domains, and either design, build, manage technical services, either sell consumer as final stage. Then we do have foundational, data, foundational domain support of all data models. But for managed portfolio domain, it's covered and each portion of each domain, and you can see we have different rule and user persona for each domain listed here. They play pretty important role and to support and use this data modeling. And this data modeling pretty high level, we call conceptual data models. And each box right now we either call entity object, and because it's a conceptual models, and the connection between each entity is a relationship. Basically, this model will help you to use a relationship, connect, and all the entity object together in the final business can consume, your services. But how ServiceNow to map this conceptual model into their physical model? In that case, it becomes part of SameDB, then we can be used. Next slide, please.
Yeah, I think that's a question a lot of people have is why do I need CSDM and CMDB?
Yeah, the one I show you first slide, it's just like conceptual data model. It's not part of ServiceNow platform application yet. But ServiceNow basically uses a conceptual data model, and you can see this here, all the object then mapped over physical model of ServiceNow platform. And that basically it is most objects one-to-one relationship is mapped to SameDB table, and by except application service, it can map to multiple tables. After you map CSDM object into physical SameDB table, then we call, CSDM, it no longer is object, is part SameDB of ServiceNow, we call logic CI. It's like a logical configuration item. But in addition, you can see we do have some application, like application infrastructure CIs. That's basic part of SameDB application in ServiceNow. And as instruct CIs, you map to multiple tables. When we start to SameDB project, I think if you work the SameDB project before, the first step is you basically use discovery, is agent connector, is a service graph connect to try to put the data from a promise, is a cloud environment to public data, is we call structured data into SameDB. but most conceptions, concept object can be mapped one-to-one relationship as CMDB, but not all of them is CMDB. For example, service portfolio is mapped to service portfolio table, but it's not CMD CIs. And request item catalog is mapped to catalog, service catalog table, but not CMDB as well. But that is important information we need to know. Second one, we do see this type, we have physical table for CSDM. We'll be able to populate CSDM data and become part of CMDB. But in addition, how data can be related to each other, reference cross-platform, it's important to connect user relationship with how ServiceNow present CSDM relationship predefined for us. That's pretty easy, for current CMDB project. How you migrate to CSDM. You can see business application capability can map to business servers, use certain relation type of data. Also, you can use reference to from business application to parent business applications. Basically, you can see it's two-step. You convert from conceptual data model from object to physical table. Then you define the relationship between each CSDM object and CMDB tables. That make the CSDM application right in ServiceNow you can use. But now after we have the structural mapping and how we populate data, we basically traditional CMDB, we populate information for from network in different environment, different data source. We can use discovery and other tools. And for example, that's for instruct CIs applications. You can automatically get information populated in CMDB, go through LRE engine, but not for logic CI, CSDM, CMDB informations. All this CSDM, logic CI need manually define and populate in ServiceNow. And basically, the two-step, you can follow when we talk about, how we implement CSDM. Usually, we follow the same process. You define the diagram in conceptual model for your services and start to use this basic information, populate all information we need. But I want to notice something here is SDLC components. Okay, SDLC component, usually this table receives data for example, like software part and for applications and infrastructures, and like a config file. So you can see it on this table. And a lot of information related to development details, it all can be saved here. But I like to mention here, this is not operational CI. What that means, operational CI is, operational CI means you can reference from instance, change, and problem, and use as service component CI. And but SDLC is not, and because every business application will not have, some has SDLC components, but some not. That's why the data is not mandatory to be populated. Yeah, this information I'd like to point here. as from this slide overall, let's have two concepts to remember. We move to next slide. Is infrastructure data, CI. We call infrastructure CI. For CMDB, CSDM CIs mapped to CMDB table, we call logic CI. And because this information, most of them is logic layer of data model. Next slide, please.
Okay. Yep. Cool.
We just mentioned pretty basic concept, how conception model and ServiceNow being mapped physically into ServiceNow platform, and they basically have relationship you can set up when you start use CSDM application to build digital product and service for your organizations in the ServiceNow platform. But here is pretty example. I call large digital product and service, and basically make up from collection of CI, two type, CI we just mentioned. One is infrastructure data and the logic CI data from CSDM. Then in addition, from both this application product servers, you reference to foundational data. But I like to mention to here, foundational data is basic function, like a user group, a CMDB group, and all this basic location information be referenced from infrastructure CI, all services. Then the common service data is all this, a CMDB, a CSDM logic CI, and they be used in a cross-platform to support individual applications. This is a pretty mature stage, after you use CSDM to define your own product and become ServiceNow product and become service, you can be subscribed by either IT consumers and business customers. And how we get there is very important to know the termination, a relationship between their logic CI and how they construct from infrastructure CI through application servers to support, service and service offerings. That's importantly to know what is a business application. All application servers, how they depend to each other, and what is service offering, and how we connect them, become one service through CSDM relationship. And after you understand the terminology definition, the relationships, that is a built foundation. You start to build your own and service model, use CSDM application. Then we can move to stage and how we, what kind of approach to implement CSDM. Let's see, the business application. Let's start from business application. Business application is design view of application service, and basically, which is like application you can personal externally, or you can develop your own internal support your own business capabilities. It's lined up with a business object to support your business need in your organizations. And application service is operational view of business application of a unique deployed instance. Remember, it's an instance of the business application, which is logic view of deployed application and system. Recently, we also use, because application may have micro services for application in the hierarchies. And when you start to build application service, And sometimes ask you, oh, how many tiers you have? That's part how you build your microservices. And let's give you an example. ServiceNow is this application, Workday, SAP, and Oracle, and Microsoft Teams. But come to application serves, you have dependency, ServiceNow dev, application serves, ServiceNow test, ServiceNow QA, and ServiceNow production. Can see we call different version instance on different environment. That's how you can connect, from business application, consume application service. Come to technical service and technical service offering. Technical service is really like high-level technical functionalities. Is focused on service is IT components infrastructure have been used to support application service and business service. And example I'll give to you here is like a database hosting service and basically provide infrastructure and management information necessary for your hosting, maintenance, support database used by different applications in your organizations. But that technical service may have dependency CIs like database servers, storage, networking, and database management like software. Also, you can like a backup recovery, such. But sometimes the technical service only technical customer focus, not for the business. For example, like LDAP, VMwares, and this type of technical service can only have service offering as can consumed by IT customers. But technical service offering is different package of technical service. It basically associated with service commitment. This is very important is when you have service technical service offering, when you face your customer, basically you try to have contract like OLA, SLA, like a commitment, how we can support this service availability, high availability for your customers. All this information will be when you start build technical service offering, that'll be part information we need to collect. Particular example I like to give to you, like technical service offering, like a virtual machine hosting service offering. This offering can provide virtualized, computer resource. You can run various, different applications and servers, and which include different configuration. You can convert to, what you need as different environment. For example, development, testing, production environment, such. Another example I can give to you, like, as technical service, we can have like a Windows service, but service offering, we can have window administration. And as technical service, we can have like a network service. Then we do have service offering network administration. That's how, they connect to others. But important thing you need to know is technical service can have multiple technical service offerings. It's one-to-many relationship. Let's come to the business. After we have our technical IT functionality line up with technical service, technical service offering, constructed through infrastructure data through application service. And then we start support the business. In that case, we need to start to define business applications, then offer different business offering to the business. The business service, the definition is, basically is a service we published to the business users. And this typically can underpin the one and more business capabilities. And the business service can be either used, ordered by business users. You can select reserved offering or service commitment level. That's how we mentioned, when you offer offering to the business is a technical, customers and commitment of service. A service availability is part information. It's like a contract between you, services, and your consumers. And then you can order this type of information through service catalog. And business service offering, particular that example I like to give to you, like service application, human resource. We do have onboarding, that's business service. But we can have multiple offering for this service, like enterprise onboarding, mobile onboarding. You can see this whole business service mapped business service offering. But also from human resource business application, you can have another example I can give to you, like a business case. That is business case support as service. As business service, it can offer different HR case support, like ER, like a employee relationship. And then we have 7 basic different HR case offering can provide through HR case. Basically, I understand all this definition. Then next we say, okay, we understand these all informations. How we link to each other based on their relationship, connect each other, build of connection from either from business application, connect to the physical CIs, then reference to foundational data. Next slide, please. Yeah, we basically go through all CSDM logic CI, how they relate to connect to individuals, infrastructure CI, and reference to foundational data. How make that happen is we need to build a relationship, use CSDM relationship, basically just pre-described by ServiceNow. And you can just basically have information relationship from complete follow the data modeling in first slide we present. You can see they connect all logic CI table and each other until end server hostings. For example, when we start from business application, you can consume application service. Application service can be consumed by business application. And from business service perspective, you can see business service offering is depends on application service. That application service can be used by business service application. Then from application server, we can depends on application, connect to each other, and runs on the server. It's very important that we have a connect data through relationship from top service to physical CI. Then when outage happen in server, and then service outage will be happening right away, you can automatically detect an impact to business service offering can be automatically triggered, monitored, and you can take actions. But another point I'd like to mention here is CSDM is not only for CMDB, also is for asset management as well. Basically, you use taxonomy approach, basically a product model, you connect between asset and CMDB. You can see we mapped, software model. You can map to application servers. It's a one many-to-many relationship. And the overall CI from CMDB, CSDM, and asset, they connect by their lifecycle status. And for current version of Washington, we already have ultimate connection, try to in sync the lifecycle between CMDB and asset and CSDM. And but in next coming version, all this information can automate in sync if you build your data modeling. And, we basically talked and, how we start, CSDM applications. It's always start from a conceptual one data model. That is the blueprint you can use to map your service. And then how do we use, from conceptual, your own mapping into ServiceNow, CSDM logic CI table? You can see that entries, basically how concept entry to the table, we guide you to populate data. Then after you populate data in, each table relationship, and for example, in the application service, it's automated. You can connect relationship with business applications, technical service, business service offering, technical service offering. This will become automated, approach in ServiceNow. Yeah, I think on this one, 4 slides, I basically give a concept, how a ServiceNow works from conceptual to physical. And then next slides, we talk about, the poll 2. Next slides, please.
Well, first we got a poll here. We're going to take a little, let you catch your breath there a little bit. We've talked a lot about CSDM and, obviously there's some challenges to getting it set up. It's not necessarily the easiest thing for everybody to understand. So I have a poll here if you want to chime in on what are your biggest obstacles that you're finding as you are trying to implement CSDM. And there we go. Okay, so poor data quality, lack of resources. Yeah, it looks like all of these look like they're challenges. And I also have a second question there. If you have any other obstacles that I haven't listed that you would want to draw attention to. And I sincerely apologize. I forgot to get out of Teams before I started the webinar here. So I apologize for all of the notifications coming up. Not sure what is so exciting this morning. All right, managing and understanding, weak governance. They're all kind of chiming in. While people are filling in the poll, we did have one question, John, about when CSDM 5.0 will be released, and I think you said in a couple of months.
Yeah, I think the ServiceNow Mark already scheduled event to talk about version 5.0. I think in next month. I don't know exact date. I did register myself. If we found that link, we can post here.
Yeah, we can add that to the resources.
Yeah,
so I'm gonna go ahead and end the poll here and let you carry on with your next topic.
Okay.
Which is obstacles.
Yeah, I have, just give me some background on my CNDB experience. When I had my first CNDB project 10 years ago, it's all manual. We don't have CSDM application. I still remember we manually map everything, including relationship, and map is a physical table we call, physical model and the relation to the service. Um, but but right now it's sort of not really matured. Basically, you can see a lot of information in CSDM application already. And if you really understand how the logic CI relationship, how they support each other, would be really good start. But before we start, yes, like yeah, always you gotta start from CMDB, the basic data. When you start CMDB, I think everyone, you work CMDB project, the first how we populate CMDB data from different data source. And discovery is the two most be used, and you can use on-premise and cloud, configure, schedule, and use your pattern to discover it, the device as possible to populate, each CMDB tables. And CMDB table do have RE, and they from out-of-box identification rule is fully defined you can use. However, because you have multiple data source, and then for reconciliation rule, how we eliminate duplication effort entries, that always challenges. And in addition, we can you have connection issues, how we pop the, correct and, attribute. Um, then how we defined of, some required field and how we scanned some, the attribute is not part you can find from network or is required. Can use, data certification on schedule job to find the information to keep data quality. Always challenge. That's why before you start, just CSDM, and the first step is always into CMDB remediation. That's how my project perform. Few project I did. You know, I work for multiple in few companies. Not multiple companies, few companies. We always facing data issues. How we keep clean data. If you don't do, as I mentioned here, because CSDM is the map to your data to CSDM standard table, we call logic CI CDB tables. And when you go through there, then when you connect to all the instructor CI data, you will face a lot of challenges. Next slide. Next.
Okay, I'm sorry. There we go.
Yeah, this is what I'm going to use. CNDB Health Dashboard. And this is, we ServiceNow provide us to monitor health of CNDB. Basically, they have the three KPIs to monitor your health of CNDB, like a completeness, compliance, correctness. And each KPI has their metrics, is a calculation to find the error. For example, duplication. They basically will show you, how many duplication record in your CMDB. It basically you can click and go to the record and fix the issues. It's so convenient for current ServiceNow applications. And the first step, we need to keep this data KPI high enough, have clean data. Usually I said, 97% will be, I consider is healthy CMDB. You can move to CSDM. But the rest 3% you can fix through your operational support. And after you have this, ready to go, then you can start your, CSDM data modeling. Let's go to next. I should mention, another big challenge I did list here is the first step when you start CSDM project, you need map your service use conceptual data models. And that one is always a challenge because especially when you come to application service and you may have some challenge to see how we connect, from technical service offering and then connect to application service and to support business service. That relationship is the key when you come to before you even start collect data. Before we jump to, that challenge, I have some in later slide to show you what kind of approach we should take to implement CSDM. But other challenge, after basically challenge I put out here is, basically is challenge how when you implement CSDM, you can see governance and standard process. I think I heard some feedback said we don't have enough resource. And because when you keep governance and we have like CI owner, supporting group, approval group, change group, all this need to be defined, need a resource to support and the policy, governance policy, ensure the data integrity, accountability, transparency. And that's why governance process, after you pop the data and to support this, this application and for CSDM data or manage your product and services is very important. But another big challenge is, let's say you are pretty in good shape. You already built your CMDB and basically all the governance, then link to CSDM, you pop the CSDM, you have mapping together and ready to subscribe from business. But another thing is, this all require a change in your organization because you already defined, right? You defined all this Simon group assigned to CI. It's huge. It's like, it's not like, it's just like one people, you can support everything. That's clearly defined all the rule. We call user persona in the first slides, conception model, we can see they play really important role for each section domain of CSDM. That relates to SameDB. That's why organization change always challenge, especially for big organization. You have different unit, you have different location based on if you are international company, right? That will have big change as well. Next slide, please.
Yeah, we've got a quick poll here because the next thing that John's going to talk about is what value you're looking for to get out of the CSDM. And while you're answering that question, John, we are starting to get a little tight on time. We got about 15 minutes left here, and I do want to get through the value, but I also want to leave some time for questions. So once we get done with the poll, let's try to keep it moving here. I'm sorry. This is a very dense topic, and it's very hard to cover even an overview in just 30 minutes. We definitely understand that. It looks like the biggest value that people are looking for is improved the service visibility and the mapping, and then operational efficiency. But it looks like the poll has slowed down, so let's move right along here to getting to the benefits.
Yeah, but I will spend a little bit of time here and move to how to implementation CSDM, some approach I like to mention to the audience. Yeah, basically, after we have, service mapping ready for the service. Just use one use case like outage. If outage happened, and then on the server side, like for example, mail server, then serve outage will happen in application service that be triggered right away and automatically create instance. That instance will be automatically mapped to, server is done, as well as business, service offering and the service. And after instance created, then will be automatic trigger notification to supporting team. You can see this process maybe just like 1 or 2 minutes. And after, we connect, use, this data modeling, create those services. But what's the benefit? Basically the benefit provide like a structural and if we adopt this, a consistent model in the organization, we really reduce redundancy, avoid duplication effort, really streamline your process. And then you can have more efficient service delivery and accurate identify the instance and change on the service. Then all this benefit leads here. I'm not going detail. I want to move to next because I really want to how to implement CSDM. I think a lot of people may interested in that part. CSDM ServiceNow have been recommend, stage approach. Basically, ServiceNow is divided into foundational, crawl, walk, run, and fly. And in the foundational stage, basically, we try to populate all the foundation data in a table listed here. After you have this data, basically, we can reference from servers to all this data and start to build overall technical service and business service. Second crown stage is we focus on application table to build minimum data we need. That's the entry of service mapping. And basically, you start build business application. Then how this business application relate to application service and applications. In that case, even you're not mature stage in organizations, it can basically understand which application has impact, from you can reference from instant problem change. Then after this foundation, you can start to get mature, is connect from technical perspective, IT functionalities. And then you define technical service, through dynamic CI group. This is very important. I don't have time to explain for this one. This basically dynamic filter category use the MDB group to allocate your CIs. This is an important feature we need to know later. From this stage, basically you are ready from technical functionalities. You can support IT customers. And after this stage, okay, you become a wrong stage. That means you're available to provide your IT functionality support to the business. And that case, you need to define your business, how relate to technical service through service, application service. And you have complete on this stage, you basically from foundation, crawl, walk, and run, are you ready? Basically, you have all the services defined. And you just need to create request card item to publish your service to the business users. I just highlight go through this process, but if you want to go to detailed step, look at this one CMDB service migration playbook and use a case example. The article blog I just published 3 weeks ago in ServiceNow Community, and you can get detailed information from there. Basically, tell you each stage what you need to do. How do you build your data model as a use case? And it's then is, you know, you have all information you need. You can, you know, start the implementation of CSDM. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. Hi, Brita, can you click next one? Brita, can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, sorry, I lost
Okay.
audio for a while. So I hope Workbook is helpful to folks because most people are usually asking for a crawl, walk, run approach. So I'm hoping that'll be a helpful tool for everybody.
Yeah,
And we got about 8 minutes left.
yeah,
So
I just
sorry,
high level
I don't mean
brief
to
here.
too long.
I'm not go through everything, and just need to point on data model stage. You know, basically, you know, two-step. One is diagram data. That's basically you like conceptually the model, you model your services. The second one use data map workbook. That is basically connect all information together you collect for CSDM. Next slide, please. Oh, can you move up? Yeah. Basically, you can see this. Yeah, this is the workbook. This workbook you can download from Now Learnings. It's ServiceNow published, and from here, this template I use to collect the data, to reflect the data model you your diagram. Then you can, from here, you follow the block I published. You can start implement CSDM. I think that's end of my talk. Sorry, spent too much time.
Yeah,
There's too many information to talk.
there is just so much information to share about this. So as you can see, we do have some references that we'll share with you, but I'd like to get through some of the questions here. So we have about 9 open questions. So first up, we have, what is the difference between a service and a capability?
Okay. The service and the capability, if you go to, you know, basically we call business capabilities. Then the capability information, if you go back to diagram, I can show you. You can go back to slides, the relationship. That'll be clear to show you that go up.
I neither, sorry.
Yeah,
This one?
yeah, this one. Yeah, this one.
Yeah.
Basically you can see business capability usually is last stage. You implement CSDM. Basically, you have the services ready to go. You mapped through CSDM model, and then you can, based on service you provided to, you can define your business capability. Say, okay, for HR service, right? We do have onboarding, offboarding. We do have HR case. And you look at all this, you know, service to be defined, then you can provide, you know, define what is capabilities that belong to. I hope this answers your question.
Okay. Next up, if any relationships are not predefined in the CSDM suggested relationship, and we don't have the relationship which we want, can we add a new one? And how do we know we're adding the correct one?
Yeah, that's a good question. Is that usually, you know, on current data modeling in CSDM level, and you know, we try to follow the prescript, you know, back, you know, relationship we defined here. If you have any is not defined here, you can basically go to you know, relationship table. We call it relationship type. That is a table called CMDB REL table. That's have all relationship you can select, and to map some unknown, you know, table is not predefined.
All right. Robert has a question here. What are the strategies to aligning to the CSDM through crawl, walk, run, fly that can be done in parallel to where they already are today? That is, how do they continue working on their data as it is while they try to undo and realign the data and any
Okay.
mistakes they already made? Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. This is a really good question. Is basically, since CSDM is so big, we don't recommend you just start all business unit, department, or services. We always start from one department, business unit, and try to map to exceeding one application. But sometimes as we mentioned, some challenge is some CI data is not clean. You always have challenge. That's your question to go back to change. But
Mhm.
that impact is big. That's why we said before you start CSDM, make sure you have clean, healthy CMDB dashboard. That is the foundation. Make sure you have and let limited impact in the future CSDM project implementation. But so start from small and go direct, then increase to to business unit and multiple department and up to multi-years. This is not just a 1 year project. It should be ongoing effort.
Yeah. Yeah. So another one is on slide 9, we showed the relationships that must be mapped. Does completing all the mappings mean the completion of the CSDM implementation, all the relationships that are mapped?
Yeah, basically, the mapping had two sections you can consider. One is you can show map here is infrastructure table in the device. It's discoverable from the different data source. All this relationship is automate maps themselves when you pop the CIs. But for CSDM, we call logic CI, and when you populate data, for example, application service, you go to the record there, and you need to select, what is their business application, what's their, service offering. When you select them, the relationship will be automate mapped by ServiceNow. You don't need to define which application type we should do, and ServiceNow already done for you.
And another good question I think that came up here is, what is the granularity of components that you recommend going to?
I recommend basically when you start CSDM project, um, as I mentioned, start small, just one business service, and build your data model for the data model I just presented in the first slide. Then the important things is really need to understand what is application service, all these CSDM objects, how they support each other. And we have two types of services, right? Technical and business. And you can see, you always start from technical perspective because the support by infrastructure AIs. And but after, start one from technical service and then gradually extend to business service. That's my recommendation. But start from small one, then gradually go to more services.
And we're just going to take one last question here because we are at time. Can you just quickly explain how CSDM aligns with DPM?
The deep
Or is that
DP
something you need to take offline?
DP DPM.
Yeah, Faraz, do you want to elaborate on that?
Oh, digital product management, digital portfolio management.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically, and CSDM, is if you is leverage from application portfolio management, service portfolio management, and digital portfolio management. They all are lined together. After you define your services, you have service portfolio you can manage. Then the final result is basically you create digital product. Let's come to digital portfolio management you can manage. I'm not going through detail in that, but they align up. This is why CSDM is very important. It's line up to, from application perspective, your portfolio, service portfolio perspective, and the final stage, you can line up into digital product perspective. And eventually, all you need to use CSDM to create your digital product. That's high level I can answer, but not detail. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm really sorry, everybody, that we need to wrap this up. There's obviously a lot of great information that needs to be shared here and a lot of questions. We'll try to get to all these questions in a Q&A document that we'll publish later, as well as a link to the recording and a copy of the deck. I want to thank you all so much for joining and being such a great audience. There will be a post-event survey that'll come out when we close the webinar here, if you'd be so kind as to fill that out, because we obviously want to try to keep making these sessions better and better for you, and also hit the topics that you're looking for us to cover. So again, thank you all for joining, and we'll see you next time.
Yes, thank you, everyone. Thank you, Brita.
Yep.